You can check out all the episodes of The Table of Truth on our website, www.tableoftruth.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Table of Truth. This is your man, Cam. We have a little bit of a special episode today. A little bit of excerpt of our last episode kind of went long, so we wanted to chop them off into 2 episodes. In this episode, we talk about Dame Dash and how people are starting to have a different look at him as an entrepreneur, and a lot others also as like kind of a truth sayer. He says a lot of good stuff, and people just always don't like his delivery, and I think that's starting to change. And we talk about that. We also talk about safe spaces for men. Actually, we talk about the barbershop, and we talk about domestic violence, and if as a man, if you're if you are the receiving end of domestic violence, why can't you go to the barbershop and express it to quote unquote your safe space to talk amongst other men about what you should do with that? Everyone has their different opinions, and we kind of talk about that and talk about the different things. This ties into Me Too and everything else, but more from the male point of view. And when it talks about domestic violence against males. So hope you guys like the episode and enjoy.
Dame is a underrated hero, man.
Hey, man, I've been saying this for a while, but
yeah, we looked at Dame as like the catalyst of why his empire fall. But if you look back at his historic rise and fall and relevance now, he low-key been ahead of the game, yeah, especially we read about the Weinstein issue. He was calling that out before the whole Me Too movement.
Yep.
He funded a lot of black projects. Speaking of which, he's one of the, so
he gave us Kevin Hart.
Yeah. I mean, also the thing about Dame too is, and I was debating this with a couple of people before, and I was basically saying it's like, he says a lot of the same things that other people have made millions off of, like Gary Vee or Tony Robbins and all that. But his delivery is hood, and since his delivery is hood, then that's pretty much what it is, And so he also gave us the greatest, mini clip of pause. But in general, like Dame always says dope shit, but his delivery is always in a way that is always harsh. And unfortunately, in the black culture, if you try to talk down to people, they always look at you sideways as opposed to just listening to the information. Dame always has some good stuff to say, but a lot of people just aren't ready to hear it. And
yeah, right. The delivery is what throws them off. So
yeah, and that's for everything. Like every time black culture in general gets ridiculed or criticized, or you say something, they're like, "Yo,
not black culture. Now it's every culture.
Yeah,
everyone is soft. Yeah, go on."
Can't say nothing no more, man.
What did Dave Chappelle say? He's like, "Since I've been gone, the country turned into a bunch of bitch ass niggas."
Speaking of bitch ass niggas, it's time to change the subject to Nicki Minaj.
Safari.
It's Safari.
Oh man!
So speak on the ant or whoever knows the subject.
Well, all I know is they've been beefing, Twitter beefing. People are saying it's because their album's not doing well. But one of the stories that came out was he mentioned that she stabbed him. She cut him one night, and he said he harmed himself so she wouldn't get arrested. And then people took it to another level and was cracking jokes on him. But if the roles were reversed, if a guy stabbed a woman, I'm pretty sure we would not be cracking jokes here. That would not be happening. So,
yeah, sad to say. I mean, it's one of those things where this is where Black Twitter was kind of going off, and it was just like, yo, this dude just admitted to being in a domestic violence dispute, and you guys are laughing at him, the victim, purely because he's a dude. See, there you go, and laughing right now. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you in this realm of where the victim perhaps was like, he's like, yo, this girl stabbed me, and if think about it, if he would have went to the police when he got stabbed, it would have been a super interesting situation.
Yeah, if I'd have came on the TV right now on a commercial and had hashtag what about me, motherfuckers is falling. Yo, if I come on TV with a teardrop and say, yo, what about me? What about me? What about me? Yo, You can't tell me motherfuckers ain't gonna take that as a joke. Yo, listen, the only way I'm calling 911 if he takes out a Conan sword, and that's when I gotta get. That's the only way I'm calling the police, man. Like, I don't know. I guess you know what? It is a double standard, man. I cannot.
Oh, now you realize that?
It's a double. It's a double standard. I'm not gonna tell nobody. Yo, my girl was roundhousing me every Wednesday night. I can't. I'm not doing that, yo.
He didn't tell anyone. This
So
just came out.
It's a losing battle, regardless. Men or women. Because if you're a woman, you know you have to speak out, and there's that movement. But you're at the threat of being called a liar, especially if the image portrayed by the man is forthcoming. Case in point, the I think his name is Reuben Foster with the 49ers. Basically, the girl came out and said I lied just to get him in trouble. So for every male abusing a woman, you do have those rare instances where the woman is just lying just to be lying. But for every that, person,
and it's not so rare. But you're right though. You're right. The Hardwick thing situation was even worse.
Yeah, and then you segue into a man. If he says he got abused and he looked at as a punk or weak, you know what I'm saying? So like nobody wins because we live in a culture where this type of thing is happening. Encouraged. It's sad to say. You know, because I know definitely if a woman stabbed me, like, you know, like I don't want to be the laughing stock. I want support. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in a culture where if a woman does it, she's getting all the love and the support. Because generally, it's usually that the other way around. But when it's flipped the other way, you know what I'm saying? Men are getting looked at the laughing stock. So nobody wins in this. It's just we have to change the whole overall outlook and the circumstance of when it happens.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even when they talk about domestic violence, it was a couple years ago, and there was a whole thing about why I stayed and why I left. And so it was a lot of people. That was the hashtag. People said, you know, why I stayed because I loved the person, blah 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 blah. Why I left because I was getting my ass beat all the time. And like the majority of it was women, but there was a big swath of dudes that were basically talking about the same thing. They had been, you know, they were in an abusive relationship with their girls, and that's what they were talking about. They were just like, yo, my girl was socking me in my face and I can't hit her back because if I do, I'm going to jail. So
sure.
I sucked up with the dude.
I'm gonna let my girl punch me, yo.
And so but then there's a lot of dudes that couldn't figure that situation out. And so they were like, yo, I sucked it up, took it, and then, you know, but then I had to eventually leave. And so, you know, but those are the type of things that, like you said, you have to change the entire culture of it, not just to say like, you know, oh, every time a woman says something, we believe them, or every time a guy says something, we like have empathy with them. You know, the Chris Hardwick one is the worst one because literally this girl wrote a blog post about how he was a shitty boyfriend and he damn near lost almost everything until they had to review it, interview everybody, and then be like, oh, our bad, we're not going to fire you no more. You got all your jobs back.
Wait. What was it? So give me the cliff notes of that, Chris Hardwick. So
Chris Hardwick, basically, his ex-girlfriend wrote this long, you know, blog post, basically saying he was a shitty boyfriend. Like he was a shitty boyfriend. Like he didn't. There's no physical violence. There was no sexual violence. It was him being a shitty boyfriend. He was saying mean things. He didn't do something, whatever. He ended up dumping her over text. Like he was a shitty boyfriend, but he didn't physically do anything. Mental abuse, that's a whole different thing because it's getting all gray now. You know,
females are giant masters at that shit.
Yeah, there's a whole nother movement where people are talking about the mental abuse of being in a relationship. How, you know, when a guy says, "Oh, you're fat" or this, it's all abuse. Not that. So whatever. But anyways, so she wrote a long post. And it got wrapped up into the Me Too movement. He got dropped from all his panels at San Diego Comic-Con. He got suspended from Talking Dead. He got taken off the Nerdist website. And then Nerdist, the parent company of Nerdist, did a whole investigation about it, went through the whole thing. His wifey, who is now his wife, was like, no, he's a good dude. And even him, he said it. He was like, yo, I was a shitty boyfriend. And I realized that, and I got better. I changed, and that's why I have an amazing wife now who supports me. All his friends backed him up. A lot of people did, and so he was pretty much ostracized for a good 3-4 months. And then finally, when the investigation process concluded, they're like, "All right, we found you didn't do anything wrong. You know, you're back. You know, you're back on Talking Dead. You're doing this, yada yada yada." But it sucks because again, a lot like a season Sorry, where he was on a bad date, and the girl basically talked about her bad date, quote unquote. And they ran with it as some like, oh, he's a horrible person, da 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 da. It's like there's like this. They're trying to lump everybody into this one big group, and then yo, man, there's so many shades of gray where sorry are not the same as fucking Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein, you know? So there's no gray area. They just lump everybody into one. Like, yo, man, you guys are all bastards. You all need to die. Like damn.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but yo, listen, if a guy getting his ass beat by his girl, call the police, man. But at the same time, ain't no man supposed to be, unless she's a 10th degree black belt, there's no way a girl should be going upside your head every fucking day and you sitting there crying. Like, then my brother called me, yo, my boo just pushed me in my throat. I just finished working out and I'm gonna be like, what? Hey, yo, listen, man. Just tell yourself, I'm a man. And just charge her. I'm a man. And just charge her, man. You can't just be.
What he's gonna say? Leroy Jenkins?
Yes. You can't, you can't. Unless I do know some guys who are like 5 feet, 4 feet.
But
100 pounds.
You should never put a hands on anybody. That's the whole point.
You heard you saying, like you're feeding into the narrative that because he's a man, he's supposed to put a woman in this place. You have, as a man, you have the authority to do the same as she would do unto you if she felt in a position that she couldn't do anything. Personally, I would call cops and sue her ass. Take 100%. Half. You want to beat on me? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the wallets.
Yeah, man.
But
you shouldn't be in a physical.
I can care less. I can care less what my brothers think of me because I know for a fact that I cannot put hands on a woman unless my life is threatened.
I cannot call my brother crying like, yo, daddy's beating my ass. I don't help. I can't.
You know what?
I can't do it. That's just me.
Why not? He can't call you. He's looking for support. And
man.
You're supposed to
because he's going. The first thing he's going to say is, "Are you serious?"
No, but that's not
what he's going to say. He's not going to say, "Yo, do this," and I'm gonna call the police. Dog, you're 30 pounds, B. Do something.
Then when you say do something and someone ends up dying, then it just looks bad on you.
I don't mean hit or back. Do something meaning get the hell out the house. Run out the house.
You can run out the house.
We are feeding the narrative that as a man, we should be able to handle the situation.
Yeah,
the way we be handling it is not always the right way. Sometimes we have to take a different path to alleviate the situation. Just because we're a man and we outweigh her doesn't mean we should be doing something that should be doing.
I don't say physically, meaning just get out the house.
I mean, yeah, but it goes back
to if he calls you, you should be there some support, not to laugh at him and ridicule him and say he's a weaker person. And I'm not saying that's what you're gonna do, but we can't have that narrative.
Right then and there. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, but then later on.
I don't mean to joke around, but I'm just being dead serious, and Dwayne could vouch for this. If I go into the barbershop with a black guy with a busted lip, the first thing they're gonna say is, yo, who jumped you? Nah, my nigga, my girl didn't like how I cooked that chicken last night and beat my ass.
Saying that. I swear to God. The barbershop is the worst place to talk about something like that.
Dog, you're not gonna get that one. But
the barbershop is not a safe place for that. You know that, Ant. You know,
but it should be. We're talking all this kumbaya shit. It should be. This is my place, so I get to.
Nah, you know the barbershop is for. It's open area. You know that, man.
Okay, wait. Why does it have to be the perfect scenario for me to tell my problems?
You know that the barbershop is open.
Come on, man.
You know you about to get lit.
So you're telling me, but that's the whole point, though. It's like,
I'm not getting it.
If the barbershop is supposed to be your safe space, and you can't go into that quote unquote safe space and tell what happened without being ridiculed, that means it's not a safe space. So it's like
no one comes into a barbershop. A barbershop's not a place where you talk to a psychiatrist. You go there, you talk about politics, you talk about sports, but no one going to a barbershop talking about the personal problems. You talking about other people's personal problems when they're not there, maybe, but you don't go to a barbershop and indulge and share that your girlfriend knocked you out unless you're stupid.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk out that door, it's over, yo.
Yeah, that might be a last haircut, yo.
No, it might. They about to flame you up, bro.
But that's the problem. But that's the problem in our community with that aspect where
That's
feel
any
our
community.
only no,
No,
not
that's
even.
No, this is our community.
No, I'm only gonna speak on ours just because it's like if you it's like I say, if you're trying to say the barbershop is the safe spot for men in general to sit down and communicate and talk, but then they can't come to those with those type of problems, that's the problem, you know? Like the one thing, you know, white culture, they have damn near everybody and their mama's in therapy, blah 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 blah. Black culture could learn from that. We all could use some therapy, but at the same time, in lieu of that, you know, we use the places like the hair salon, the barbershop, you know, the small nucleus that we have. So if you can't go to your nucleus and be like, yo, this is a major issue going on in my life, I need help or guidance, and all I'm gonna do is get laughed at or ridiculed, of course you're not gonna come. You're just gonna stay in that abusive ass relationship and either keep getting your ass beat or you're gonna leave or whatever the reason is, you know?
Yeah, because what we have our own chat, obviously. Like we have our safe space. What we talk about in that chat, half the shit you know you cannot tell your barber or your barbershop.
Yo,
That's true.
yeah,
Right?
Yep.
yeah.
The perception is the barber shop is a safe place, but you know you're not disclosing all information. It ain't that open.
Depending on who's in the barbershop at that time.
No, you can pull somebody aside and talk to them, but you're not talking out loud like how we talking.
Yeah,
In a barbershop.
like what Dwayne said, we like to talk about other people's problems in the open. That's a safe space, and that's 100% fact. But when it comes down the narrative of understanding how a male can be a victim, we don't, as black males, we're not as accepting, and it's hard to believe and fathom that, and we should take a different approach.
It's true, and I think that's why it's like, you know, the people now do their own podcasts or they have like their own kind of nucleus of people that they kind of rock with outside of, like, say, the barbershop, or whether it's on a chat or something like that. Because then, you know, like you said, if you were having a real crazy personal issue, you go to the barbershop and you're trying to say you're going to talk about it, you know, everyone's going to laugh at you, roast you.
I would say this then. After the first back slap, that should be a warning sign. Go get it checked out. Because, you know, it's just like if a female told you verbally something, if you don't check it right then and there, it's over. They're going to keep doing it. They feel they got the green light.
No, you're right.
So if you do get cursed at or somebody, you know, slaps you, that first time should be the last time. If that means you got to walk, you got to walk. But also, don't sit there and get your ass beat and say, yo, she's just female. That shit don't hurt.
But you also have to remember, too, is a lot of people don't know any other way to be in relationships than that, you know? So it's like, you know, you have a whole section of generation of people that look at relationships where if you're not fighting, you're not in a real relationship, you know? There's not that like anger or that passion, you know? And if you don't have that anger or passion, then it's like, oh, that's just not real. And she ain't slapped you or, you know, or you even, you know, threatened her with physical harm, and you're not in a real relationship. And it's like, it's skewed, but like there's a whole section of people that believe that's to be true. So those are those instances where it's like, even in our culture, we have to actually be like, that's just not cool. And we need to have a better dialogue within amongst ourselves so we can not act like that, you know? I'm not saying that any of us do that, because, you know, you try to hang out with people that you have like-mindedness in terms of how you view things. But I think that's the part where I think Black Twitter has helped for a lot of people to have some type of a safe space, quote unquote, but then it's almost getting too crazy now, where it's like you said, when the Nicki Minaj thing came out, everyone was just capping on Safri's hairline, as opposed to being like, yo, this dude got stabbed by his girlfriend and he didn't say anything about it because he thought everyone was going to clown on him. Well, justified.
But that's the thing when y'all said about the barbershop, you got to know where to voice your problems at. You know, you go on social media, it's going to be roast central.
Oh yeah,
you got to take that straight, like I said, to a psychiatrist, to a doctor. You go on social media, it's open season, man.
I mean, it also depends on the guy too. Like Safari was on Angie Martinez's show crying because he just got robbed, and people was cracking jokes.
Yep.
It was like, yo, they just stuck me in the jury. Yo, you look at the comments, it's LOL with a 10,000 L's underneath it, yo.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just a target, yo. And it's not a story that he wanted to share. But I guess some shit. I don't know what happened between the two, but something got said and he just brought it up.
Yeah.
And she went in and started snapping on his hairline. And that was it, yo. People just ran with that, man.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's just because you make light and funny of something that's serious, and then you take the power out of that person's story. And so now you have, you know, again, you have different people telling different stories about their own stuff. Like, hey, this is some real shit that I went through, and some people will just snap on it, and then some people will, you know, take it seriously.
And then we look at it as a laughing matter when a man says, "I've been abused." But at the same time, I'm also like, man, if a girl hit me or stab me, I'm leaving. Because look, I just got my blue belt. I am licensed. I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy. I'd rather leave that toxic situation.
Yeah.
Right? All jokes aside, like I never want to fight anybody, and I definitely don't want to fight my perceived partner. And if she feels the need to abuse me in any way, where she has to stab me or hit me in any way to get a point across, that's not a healthy relationship. And
at all.
you guys have to have one healthy discussion, because it's only a one-time deal. If it's a one-time deal,
even that,
yeah. Because like we all men here, and if you have a sibling that's a sister and she got abused, you tell her to leave the situation quick. How come we can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Men should be able to do that too.
Yeah, 100%.
Without getting ridiculed from his male counterpart saying he weak.
Yeah. Like all jokes aside, like with this topic is sometimes it's very hard to make light of it. But if a female smacks you, and if you continue to allow it, then damn it, that's exactly what's going to happen. Until you see one thing about a guy between a female, and matter of fact, no, because if a female got a one-hitter quitter too, I'm sure there's females out here that can knock you the hell out, knock me out. So I'm not going to say you could sit there and take it. So there is no excuses why you should be dealing with it. But you just got to know, like you said, if it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy, man. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, man. You shouldn't be in freaking physical altercations as a grown ass person. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Why are you fighting for them? If that's your way of communicating, like that's crazy.
Once you get out of high school, there should be no fights to begin with. Like, what is wrong with you? But again, like I think that's said, it goes back to the larger point of our own culture and how we look at it. Because the different parts of it, with all this physical abuse happening and people are talking about their stories and stuff like that, and some people, they're either support the woman or support the guy or drag this person, yada yada yada. And I think now it's almost too far to the pendulum. Before it was like, we don't believe any woman. Oh, what? He would have never done that. Now it's like, oh, he did that automatically. Like, wait, can the guy even say anything? It's like, but it's crazy.
I say that now, but I'm not gonna lie. If I know my girl just decks me in the face, I'm not telling y'all, my girl beating my ass, yo. Like I'm not.
I still have to go to the barbershop and say it, right?
I'm not saying that. I'm shading line in the barbershop too.
And by the way, man, y'all know this is Black Eye? Guess where it's from? What? My girl. They're gonna be like, get out, yo.
Yeah, that's my last haircut. Yeah. But and unfortunately, I think that's just embedded with you're a man, and I don't think that will ever change. Ever change. It won't.
No, but you also have to remember the definition of what a man is right now in this current climate, 2018, is getting skewed and stretched and this and that. Yeah. So like again, your definition of what you said being a man, like girl hits me, I'm not gonna tell nobody, I'm just gonna like handle it internally, whatever, cool. But also you're also realizing now we're in a state where there's a bunch of bitch ass niggas.
That's crazy, man.
So it's harder. Like someone made a good point. They're like, man, it must be really hard for 11, 12, or 13-year-old boy right now in this climate of just everything. Like, before there were certain clear guidelines of what being a man would be doing and whatever. Now that everything's so weird, not weirded out, but everything's loosely defined, it's almost a little bit harder for them to actually kind of have that kind of situation of saying, yes, I'm a man. I'm learning man skills and all that,
Yeah, that's serious. You're on point now because I live with a 14-year-old right now, and the things I used to do, quote unquote, to become a man, play sports, get cut, get bloody, go outside, bomb with your friends. They not going outside no more. They playing on video games all day. So I'm like, yo, how the hell do I even implement how I was taught to these kids now? Because they don't live the way I used to live. Yeah. So
I mean, you look at how sports are with kids nowadays. Everything is fucking organized. Like kids don't go out and play. It's parents going to their games on Saturday. They're not outside.
Structured all the time.
Yeah. It's got to be structured. And Cam's right. There is no guideline nowadays because if your son picks up a doll, people gonna be like, let him play with the doll. You're gonna be like, well, I don't want him to play with the doll. And then you get into a conversation about that. So there's no There's nothing but open lanes on the highway, yo. You can make any turn nowadays.
Yeah, and I think and honestly, on one end, it's actually a good thing because you can break up a lot of the dogma that's been around for so long that have been doing stuff that suppress women and other stuff like that. But on the other side, it just makes it more confusing just to be. And I think that's the part that's the hardest part, where it's like someone was like, oh, I was talking about something, and I was like, yeah. As a straight black man, but oh no, you shouldn't say that. You should say cisgender. I was like, as a straight black man, I was like, yo, man, like that's cool. There's literally 50 plus different gender affiliations now, which is a whole nother annoying thing. But like, I think for each people, you should just kind of figure out what you like and then just be cool with it. Like, that's what you believe. Cool, do what you do. Like I say, and now you got a son. You also have your dad to the other one, so you can kind of figure out what you think of your definition of a man is and teach them how you feel. And then
I battle through it every day though, Kim, because every time I think I have a valid point, I get told, "Well, he don't live your life. It's just different. Times is different." So now it's almost like I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's like, yeah. So now I'm the old man now, and I'm in my 30s. It's like, yo, what the? So. Like you said, it's an everyday struggle, man. It's like I'm learning as well to change my ways of a little bit, not all, but just.
I think also too, it's one of those things where instead of teaching kids to be a man or to be a woman or whatever it is, it's just more teaching them good values, period, and then from there they can kind of roll from it, Like I think from my nieces and nephews, like my niece is 7 and she's super rambunctious. She's always rough and tumble, she's always playing around. And her younger brother, who's 5, he's a lot softer. He tattletales all the time, And it's interesting to see that dynamic because she's taking on the traits that quote unquote are a boy, which make her a tomboy, as you'd want to say. And then he's just a lot softer. But instead of saying, "Oh, you're weak and you're strong," they kind of let them be, but at the same time teach them good values, and they can kind of navigate themselves.
And y'all could all chime in on this. I'm gonna blame music too because we did grow up to a lot of important figures who talked about real life shit every day.
Killing people,
rappers.
I think there's music still, but I don't think it's a lot how it used to be. I think there's a lot of bullshit out there, and they following that shit. I just how I see it.
It's very depressing out here in the suburbs. I'm saying.
I know what they play out here, man. It's nothing, man. Wu-Tang is no Pac, Big. It's nothing where you can make it through life. A lot of songs, I see it, and these kids follow that route all day, every day.
Yo, man, XX.
I disagree with you, Ant, about music that doesn't get them through life because the culture and what's going on now is relevant to the kids now. But I can still point out to music that I can listen to that gives me that nostalgic feeling that speaks to me in volumes. You know what I'm saying? But right now, there's a new wave. And what's the guy that passed away? Extinction or Triple X Extinction? Mm-hmm. He spoke to a different generation. And when he died, that's why he still had a lot of support after he died because his music was inspiring to that following. You know what I'm saying? So there is music that speaks to the youth. We're just not the youth anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we're outside looking in.
I mean, but if you look at it in the way that Ant's explaining it, say for example R&B, there were tracks that I would listen to, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't wait to at least try to talk to a female or have those type of feelings. I know there's R&B out nowadays, but you really have to find it. It's not on the radio. There's a lot of dope R&B artists that I listen to that are young right now, but it's not mainstream. So there is music out there, but it's not the mainstream music. You have to go out there.
Yeah.
The mainstream stuff. The other day I heard some dude rapping on the radio. He said, "Wah wah." What was it? Wham 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 wham. Yo, I gotta find the lyric, yo. I was like, yo, what did he just say?
But also, Dwayne, the landscape of how we find music has changed as well.
Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah.
One of my friends, this one dude Tim, he's over at Pitchfork. He's doing a lot of stuff he got hired as a senior editor to do a lot of the hip hop stuff there. And Pitchfork is, they're all over the place, but since he's gotten there, they've actually kind of shifted a little bit better in terms of how they report on new rappers and all that kind of stuff. Because he still listens to current rap music. He's our age, but he still listens to rap. He listens to everything. So he can tell you of all the new cats who's actually good. Yo, this cat's good. This cat's this, and that. So it's out there. But I think also too, I think in the way we consume music when we were younger, you got a lot of the stuff got filtered out, and then also you can get to better stuff in a certain way, where now it's literally a free for all. And so now it's like I said, you have cats like XX Tentacion and freaking Little Xans and 6ix9ine that all popped off on SoundCloud first. 6ix9ine to this day is not signed, but he has millions of listeners for anything he drops, videos, and he's horrible. Doesn't take his rap serious or anything. He
even said he's horrible.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because people are consuming it. So the way people consume music is different now. So now it's just on you to actually take the time out.
But some of the stuff that he's not music though. Like, granted, he's a musician, but people are following him for different reasons. And real quick, the music we were listening to, at least the mainstream music, we were forced to listen to what was on the radio. Those people had talent, yo.
Yeah.
Like the Whitney Houston, the Mariah Careys. I use this point to this day, Cam, when I say this generation's Whitney Houston is Rihanna. They're Mariah Carey's Katy Perry. Like, it's no comparison. Yeah. You have B groups like Brownstone that would sing the bricks off of people who are out nowadays.
Sing the bricks off. Facts.
Yeah, it was the same. I had a conversation about Janet Jackson and Beyonce, and someone just saw Janet Jackson recently at Outside Land, I think it was, and they're like, yo, Janet Jackson was dope. I'm like, how did you not think she would be dope? She's literally in her 50s and she's doing the same type of level of a Beyonce at this time. So
yep.
But I was laughing because again, people we have short memories and all that kind of stuff. So I think that back to my friend Tim that works at Pitchfork, he's one way. I give him a lot of credit because he definitely puts me on to newer stuff. Dwayne's another one too that will actually be like, yo, man, there are new kids that are dope. It's just like you got to put the time in to actually look for it. And a lot of people just don't have the time anymore. You just like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to what I listen to, and that's it. But then I actually, I still DJ. I still actually want to listen to new music. So I'll, take the time to look, like, especially for R&B. R&B is some of the best R&B is happening right now in the last maybe year and a half. Like, there's so much good shit. Young kids all over the world, places that you wouldn't think of, and they're doing some really, really dope shit. But you just gotta find it. You gotta look for it.
But why is it that in this era now we have to find good shit, but we don't have to? But it's easy to find bad shit. Back when we were growing up, the mainstream was nice, super nice.
You're 100%.
Let's take a step back. All right. So when we were growing up in the golden age where it was different. It was just different. Things were new. Things were happening. So the new just happened to be really good, right?
Really good.
No, you're right.
But that's not to say we didn't have bad music slipping through the cracks.
There's tons of bad music. Yeah,
True that.
Now the game has changed. If whoever who's worked in radio, like Cliff would know this, like Clear Channel, what sells, what's moving, what they want to push. The narrative is different within in the business now. You just don't play what's hot and good. You have to play a certain set list, obviously, and you play your top 40, and you're going to have that in rotation because what's perceived as what the people want is not dictated by us. It's dictated by them thinking that's what we want, So when I wanted to be a DJ, I thought I could play Wu-Tang all day, every day, and everything I liked about my golden era hip-hop, but that's not true. You have to go in and play a certain set list. So nowadays, what pays the bills? People that are getting sponsored or what they want to promote, So you have I have Sirius Satellite Alert Radio. So on Fridays I listen to Tony Touch's little show, and it's like a throwback. He plays everything old school and new, and you get that feel of new music. So when we were growing up, we had Stretch Armstrong and Bobbito and Sway and King Tech.
Yep.
They were always groundbreaking, busting new stuff out because it was just happening. They came in an era where it was happening like that. Right now, we're in an area where it's happening, but it's just not. It doesn't speak to us. It's just different music.
I mean, the only station I can think about is like K-Day. K-Day still does what you're saying that Tony Touch does. Yeah. They do play old school hip hop and they play new school hip hop, and I think they're the best quote unquote hip hop radio station for doing that because it gives hip hop credibility. You're listening to the old timers, you're listening to the new people as well. Yeah. So a lot of rappers that are out here listen to older music because they're like, all right, I grew up to this. I know about the Wu-Tang. I know about such and such. A lot of these rappers with little in their name, they coming from Florida, New York. Like, I don't know what they're listening to. Yeah. They're not listening to the people before them. And there's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, you should know the history.
Yeah,
You always should pay homage to hip hop, though.
But
You always should pay homage.
But you're missing the point is that we're in a different realm. Like the rapper, a lot of the rappers, like there's a good swath of the rappers these days that are on it, and then they are in hip hop. But there's a lot of them that are just doing this for fun. It's entertainment. They're just rapping because that's what they like to do. And because of that, they have no ties to what hip hop is or anything like that. And on top of that, their exposure to it is different. So like,
that hurts the game, though.
No, 100%.
No, because look. So at the end of the day, Drake is an artist. Do we hold him this higher standard as one of the better lyricists? No, we understand what he is. So for every person that just does hip hop for fun, because we're not the gatekeeper. We are kind of gatekeepers, but there's no rules and say you can't partake in this culture and have fun and not want to take it seriously. And that's like Childish Gambino he wasn't considered a dope MC. He just did it for fun and he didn't take himself seriously.
Yeah, and he was good at it. You know?
Yeah.
And just to give you guys a good example, like we're talking about this hip hop stuff, like we all grew up in the 90s in terms of that, but like just to give you an example of say from 93 to 99, I'm looking at it on Wikipedia right now. These are the top selling albums of each of those years. 93, Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard. 94, Elton John, Lion King. 95, Hootie and the Blowfish. 96, Alanis Morissette. 97, Spice Girls. 98, the soundtrack to Titanic. And 99, Backstreet Boys. Those are the top selling albums of the country. And we're talking about hip hop shit where none of that stuff was there. Like it was a pivotal moment for us, but like in a larger grand scheme of things, like rap music still hadn't bubbled up to that level yet. By the 2000s, it started to peak through and all that. But you have a lot of kids that are grappling right now that grew up in the 2000s where, 50 Cent and Eminem are OGs. And so like they didn't grow up with like KRS-One and Pete Rock and all those cats. They kind of know who they are because someone told them. Like that one there's a YouTube channel where the cat he listens to old school 90s hip hop for the first time and has reactions to it.
Yes, I don't like that because yeah.
Oh, King Guap.
Yeah. Yo, I think that shit is dope because like, dude,
I like it.
Dude, the kid was born in like 99 or something like that, or 2000. And so he was just like, yo, my parents don't listen to rap. They listen to rock and soul and R&B. So I didn't grow up with any of this. So him listening to like Shook Ones for the first time or freaking, I think the Wu-Tang Triumph, that shit was the best one. He's like, listen to it. He's like, oh, hey, this first guy is pretty good. But again, you have to remember that like a lot of these kids don't have the same esteem or regard for our era of music that we did. So like, that's why it's refreshing when you hear younger kids being like, or artists, they're like, oh, R&B artists, like, who do you listen to? Oh, my favorite artist was Aaliyah. I like the way she sang. I was really big into Maxwell and D'Angelo, and they're like, oh shit, that's freaking dope. But a lot of the rap kids now, they don't have that same ties anymore. They're just like, oh, me and my friends just playing around. We used to be in a gaming crew, and we all played freaking Grand Theft Auto, but now we're rapping because it was just fun and we thought it was cool. We learned on YouTube. And now we're a rapping crew. That's basically the YBN kids. Like those kids are basically a gamer crew that became rappers, and now they're freaking popping off one by one and kind of doing their own thing.
I guess my problem is though, hip hop is not something you just play around with. At the end of the day, it's still an art, and respect the art.
The gatekeepers or the people who are in charge are the ones who want to make money off of it. So they're not respecting the art. They want to make money. Yeah. So we don't have anyone in place to be like, hey, there's no school of hip hop.
Yeah.
So if people are tuning in, if the Catch Me Outside girl is getting 1 million views on YouTube in one day, they're gonna push that. So unfortunately, it's about money.
Same thing with Cardi B. Like they're like, oh, everyone's like, yo, that Cardi B album is dope. I'm like, of course it's dope. There's money behind it to make sure that they get the best producers, the writers, all that kind of stuff, and push the brand. So when people talk about, yo, we have to protect hip hop, blah, 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 it's like, man, you're only talking about rap. You don't even really pay attention to what quote unquote hip hop really is. And even if you did, you would have a whole different viewpoint on it, because someone was talking about, yo, people keep stealing our culture. And I'm like, yo, black culture hasn't really been fucking with hip hop in a very long time,
Yeah. Well, that's why Fun Flex said it best. You cannot be top 5 if you don't have bars. Bars still matter when it comes to categorizing artists.
I mean, that's up to the person. Like Kanye West, he's in many people's top 5. Drake,
he got bars.
But did he write those bars?
True. Yeah.
And somebody like Drake, just based off his hits, he has to be in the top 10
Yep.
Based
Yeah,
off
he
hits.
is.
I'm not saying bars. I'm not saying anything.
He is. He
He
is.
has hits forever. So, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, I love hip hop. I will always listen to it, but it's not the same as it used to be. And of course, that's because we're older. Hip hop is definitely a younger generation thing. But in terms of the skills, they're not there like they used to be. Is what I'm saying. Like it's more watered down. And I'm not knocking because there's kids out here who are dead nice. I'm just talking about the thing that gets pushed forward is not as skillful as it used to be.
But
Yeah, we do our final words, yo.
Ant, you want to go first?
Yes. We was talking about movies earlier, and I was watching. Dwayne's gonna laugh. The biggest disappointment movie of all time. Congo came on yesterday, and I watched a gorilla with a power glove on, an NES power glove. Oh fucking!
You know why? Because it was so promoted.
I was so
promoted like crazy.
Yes, I was watching the other day. I said this got to be the most embarrassing movie of all time, yo. That shit was on every cup, KFC cup, commercials. Oh my, yeah. So, oh man, my takeaway is, yo, certain movies was just Congo, man. Y'all terrible, man. That's all I can say, man. But I'm glad we back.
Why the hell did you watch it?
I was watching it with Nate. Because Nate likes to watch all these old sci-fi, and so I said, you know what, let's watch Congo. And he was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
All movies. I'd have been like, nah, we're not watching Congo, yo.
Yo, dogs, he saw Super Saiyan apes with gray apes doing flips. I was like, all right, you want to watch it? Let's go. And boy, was it bootleg.
What horrible movie is Ant talking about now?
Congo.
Jesus Christ.
Did he like it? Did he like it at least?
He laughed at it, but he said it wasn't whack. He just found it humorous, that's all.
Yeah, kid.
Yeah, he's a kid, so he enjoyed it. I did.
Oh, he's a kid. That's different.
Yeah, he's 14, so I'm trying to have him watch what I used to watch. So certain things is boring, some things is not to him. But you know, I put on Legend with Tom Cruise. He's like, yo, turn this shit off.
I said that when I first saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
He say, yo, turn this shit off. My fault, man. I'm going way back.
Let him watch Willow, yo.
Yo, man.
He might like that.
Willow, underground classic, yo. It's underrated, son.
Yeah, he might like that.
Dwayne, you gotta find a word.
Nah, I don't. I can't even think of one right now, yo. I'll come back to me, yo.
Cam?
My final word is go watch Willow. Shit holds up.
Then when you've been watching Willow, go watch Beastmaster.
Yo. There's a trio of them. There's like 5 movies that all were on TBS.
Crow. Wait, was Crow
TBS at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's like Crawl, Beastmaster, Willow, Legend. Damn, there's another one too. Like a really bad one. Probably. Yo, Beastmaster was pretty.
Legend's a classic too. Legend's a classic.
Like Red Sonja too. They put that in there in that rotation.
Yeah, put that.
Yo, they had a lot of them. Lady Hawk,
maybe.
Yo, Marcus loves Ghostbusters, the original.
It's classic.
I mean,
yo, he loves Ghostbusters.
What's crazy though, if you watch Ghostbusters now, like it's a pretty serious, like the way they told the film, and like it's kind of heavy. There's a lot of heavy.
Yeah, it holds up, yo. Yeah, well.
Ghostbusters lived up, yo. Head of his time, yo.
Final word. Yeah, man. I think people should, as Cam always says, be a well-informed hater. I think that's a really good term for 2018. I think a lot of people are too quick to share a link of just the title and not actually read the article, or to comment on a movie without actually watching the movie, or comment on an album without like listening to it. Like, I hear a lot of good things about the Travis Scott album. I'm not a Travis Scott fan. I might not listen to it, so I have no opinion about it. I heard it's dope, but I'm just not. I just don't like Travis. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not into him. So like, but people like, again, like I'm not gonna hate on it just because I don't like him as an artist. I'm just like, yo, if it's dope, then I think it's whatever. But I think it is important that people at least just take the time to like read and like just pay attention. Like I think the social media like atmosphere now makes everything quick bites and really quick things where they just literally just look at the title and just comment or something, or watch that 2 minute clip or 5 or 10 second clip and then have a whole thought process about it without actually like thinking deeply about it. So I just think people should just think deeply about normal shit, be logical, and pay attention and read up before you have a comment about something.
My final word is going out. It's going to be a little different route. I'm going to give a shout out and some dues to extended friends of the Table of Truth. I want to give a shout out to J-Ton Gunther, the Whiskey Lifestyle, Griff, and them doing it, and Pope Phoenix. And I want to promote their stuff, and you can reach them. You can reach J-Ton Gunther on IG at JATONGUNTER. That's his IG, and he's the author of a book called Fruit and Glass for all you wine aficionados. I want to hit up the Whiskey Lifestyle. Spell like it said, the Whiskey Lifestyle, no different spelling on IG. And I want to give a big shout out to Pope Phoenix, who's doing a little special project out there for all those who want a portrait. If you go to his IG page at Pope Phoenix, POPEPHOENIX, hit him up, sidebar with him. He can do a portrait for $75. It's a limited time only. You can get your custom portrait, digital art, vector art, illustration by a dope artist. Pope Phoenix, check his work out. That's my final word.
Holla.
Dope.
Yeah.
And then, Dwayne, you have one, or you say you're good?
I guess I got a mini final word. My final word's about New York sports. I've been a lifelong fan of the Bulls.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys. But there's a story you guys know about the Giants. About sneakers. But I've had this conversation with my girl, with Aunt. I'm coming back to the New York team, yo.
Yo, and he been saying that for. Yeah, this is the first announcement, but he been talking about it.
And by osmosis, I've been following these teams my entire life. So I think moving away from the city, it's weird not living there and telling people from New York and then like rooting for another team. So yeah, I'm back to my New York ties, yo. So when you guys got Nick jokes, holla at me, yo.
We gonna have a long. I can't wait for the next episode of sports. I can't wait.
Dwayne, so you gave up the Bulls and the Cowboys?
Yeah. Especially the Cowboys. I don't know what Jerry Jones talking about, y'all.
No, okay. I can understand the Cowboys because it's deeper than just fandom. It's some political ties.
It's where like I'm not gonna hate them, but I'm gonna support my New York team, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a first.
That's a really big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim Gray. Now, I'm the only Nick hater. Yo, Cam, quiet as kept, yo. We might have Kyrie and Butler next year, man.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
We gonna say that for October when basketball comes.
Don't jinx us, yo. Don't jinx us.
I'm not gonna
say this. And this is the last word. If y'all do get them, good for y'all. Y'all need to be relevant again.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, LeBron.
Yep.
Soon, you guys shall have the sports the pre-football TOT sports episode.
Can I say one more thing? Yo, we got Barkley this year, man. Can I do a prediction with him right now, or should I wait? We'll wait to the sports episode. We'll wait to the sports episode.
But I'm gonna say this, Cam, you need to be on the episode because I see you quietly dropping some sports knowledge more than the so-called sports.
Hey man, I pay attention.
You might have to jump on the sports one.
I pay attention.
Because we have a so-called sports guru who think he knows stuff, but I ain't heard him chime in on anything sports related in a few weeks. So
what was this?
Like I said.
Oh, in the main chat?
In the main chat.
Well, I haven't been there, so I know
are we gonna have a split episode before NFL season starts?
Yeah, I think we should have a football one and maybe a fantasy football one as well. So we'll talk about that off the air. But
off the air.
Another great show, guys. We holla at you all later, man. Peace.
Peace.
One.
You can
listen and download to all of our episodes of The Table of Truth on iTunes. Just search The Table of Truth podcast.